What's up, everybody? Matt Nuzzo, hanging out here in the backyard at Real, Waterman's Retreat. So today we're going to talk to you about how to buy an access foil. As you can see, there's a ton of different equipment here. We've got red fuse, black fuse, aluminum mast, carbon mast, BCS, ART. It's like, what is going on? And you can't even see from that angle all the tail wings, and this is half of them. So when you look at the access line and you look at the website, you're like, I know this stuff is good, but what's up with all these masts and how does this all work and what do I need to get the right equipment to get on the water for the sports that I'm doing? So fortunately, had the chance to talk to a lot of different team riders, a lot of customers of ours who are riding access foils. Got to ride some myself and took some input from other people. Shout out to Larry Foyle down in Australia. He was really helpful giving me some direction as to where to go. Also my buddy Rick up in Massachusetts who rides this stuff and is just like, hey, this is what I'm riding, and it really helped getting some guidance. So we want to be that guidance for the access foil for you people online. What we can tell you is that Access has a deep range. Once you understand it, there's a lot of great product for all the sports, and that's one of the reasons we brought it into Real, is because they have a huge range of gear from, real high performance, high aspect gear to really easy user-friendly beginner gear. And it's also bringing the aluminum mast range, it brings the price point down so you can get into foiling at a high quality level of product, grow with the range, and not have to break the bank just getting into the sport. Here we go, we're gonna dive in. The fit and finish of the access gear is really, really nice. Tolerances are super important in foiling because if it's a really loose tolerance and they wiggle and they get all funky over time, if it's too tight, it's a really pain in the butt to put together. So Access kind of figured out how to make the aluminum setup work really well. So your mast, you've got a variety of different mast sizes. They do have the 19 mil mast or the 16 mil mast. Forget about the 16 mil mast. The 19 mil mast is what they're using. Basically, this is a 19 mil mast here, 90 centimeter. It's really, really high quality material. It's tapered. The reason that the 19 is the way to go is it's stiffer and stronger to deal with these the high load of these much bigger wings. So that is what you're getting there. And then if you want to change a mast, they're not that expensive to just get the mast. So say if you want to have a 60, a 75, and a 90 or something like that, it's pretty inexpensive to just get the mast. You will get some water that will kind of get stuck in there. They have sealed off the ends here and sealed it off from about this far down, but when you take it off, there will be a little water that spills out, just so know that. But when you see the finish here and the fit, top plate, really high quality. One of the great things they've done is they put the screw size right there so you can go to your screw chart and pretty easily tell what size screw goes where. But the fit is really solid, goes on there, and it's just bomber. Put a nice rubber plate on this top plate. Really, really high quality. Because you're dealing with aluminum, you have to grease the bolts. You have to take it apart and maintain it every 2 to 3 weeks maybe, or else it will seize up. That is kind of the biggest pain in the butt with the aluminum, is that you have to maintain it and have greasy bolts. To put the fuselage on, they create this unique little thing called a doodad. Drops right into there to the mast, and then fuse goes on top. Goes in nice and solid, I mean just really solid connection, and then the bolts go through the top. So the fit and the finish of this is just the best aluminum that we've seen. These aluminum fuselages are just really, really high quality, and the quality of this aluminum is amazing for the value for the price of what you pay. They also have a carbon mast over here in a variety of sizes. It's a lighter weight mast, it's a little thinner, and it also tapers down to be fatter at the top and skinnier at the bottom. And so that's going to give you a higher performance feel. You are bumping up quite significantly when you go to the carbon mast. So we felt that the aluminum really is what suited this line better because they're really stiff, the performance is nice. Albeit being heavier, you get a huge range of wings at a lower price point than a lot of other foils. They do have two different hardware kits. You've got your standard stainless steel hardware kit, and then you've got your titanium hardware kit. The titanium one's like 5 times more expensive, so it's kind of like, well, what's the deal? I mean, the weight isn't that big of a deal. There is definitely a weight savings, but it's not a huge deal. But one of the things that I did notice is that you can see here on my stainless kit is that, like, I put the tools back, tools get rusty, the chart is getting kind of wet and tore up, whereas the chart is taped right on the outside of here. Tools won't get messed up. This one's real plush and nice and just has kind of like a little better finish to it in our titanium hardware. I do wish that the bolt sizes were on the actual screw heads, but that's pretty hard hard to do. But you do have this chart here. Anyone that's getting an access kit, I would just recommend getting a second stainless setup. It's 25 bucks or something like that. Get a second setup because there's tons of screws here. I dump them out and I'd like, oh, there goes one. This little tiny little, what is these, like M6 14 millimeter screws. Like, oh, where did the thing go? So you're chasing the thing around on the beach, but just buy an extra set so you have them. It does come with the board mounting hardware. So this tool, both tool kits come with the tools and the board mounting hardware. I use an accessory tool, you know, just a hand driver, which I like a little more than their tools just because you can turn them a little faster and it's not going to corrode out as easily. But getting an extra set of this is going to be good. But they do have two hardware options, which, you know, again, I like the titanium, but it is 5x the price if you wanted to spend up for that. So the fit and the finish on this stuff, really high quality. The tolerances are on point, and I was just super impressed putting this thing together. Despite having to grease the bolts and deal with all that stuff, it's really, really nice quality aluminum product. Also, the carbon mast, nice performance, really nice quality, and great attachment point. Even on the carbon mast on the foot here, really adds on there. You don't use a doodad on the carbon mast either. So the fuselages were really confusing to us, because you look at the website and you're like, there's like so many different size fuselages. There's a red fuse, a black fuse, like is one performance, one not? Like what is the difference? So simply put, there are different sizes of both versions of fuselage. The red fuselage has a much wider and thicker foot that is suited for the BSC 1060 and 970. Black has a much smaller front foot, thinner profile for the thinner wings for the BSC 890 down, all the HPS, all the ART wings. Okay, so that's what the difference is with the two foot size. And then the length is just really weird to understand. Standard, short, crazy short, ultra short, like which is which length. So nice that they put on the bottom, they're putting in red fuselage short 680, black series fuselage short, whatever, 699. So again, short is not the same between the two, so it's different per different fuse style. The two fuses that we like the best was the short red. The standard red is like 760. The thing is just makes these bigger foils way too stiff. These foils are not the turniest foils to start off with, particularly when you're using like one of these giant 500 tails. So if you have that 760 fuse, it's just way too stiff. Maybe windsurfers are using it or something like that. So the 680 is going to be the stock one that we're going to be selling for most part. They do have some people are going one notch down if they want to loosen up these bigger wings to get a smaller fuse, or if you're a lighter rider, sometimes that helps out. But the short fuse, the 680, is the right one there. The one that we've been riding most for the black series is the ultra short, which is a 643. That's a really good all around. For some of the really skinny, smaller wings, we took out the standard short, which is 699. Again, gives you a little bit more stability, but this one I didn't find to be too turny. We went down to the crazy short. I'm still trying to figure out ultra short, crazy short, but we went down to the crazy short a few times just to try the, you know, it did lighten up, you know, made some of these wider span wings like the ARTs quicker turning, you know, so we did like the crazy short on a few of them, but really the 643 ultra short is kind of the staple of what most people are riding there. So fuselages, once we used them and saw physically saw the difference of how they go on, it wasn't that confusing. Red for the big wings, black for most of the other setup, and then pick your length, and those are the ones that we like the most. So the wing range is really deep with Axis, and that's one of the great parts about this lineup, is that with this variety of wings, there literally is something for everyone. But that can get really confusing because there's something for everyone. But the nice thing is if you start in one sport like wake foiling and then up starting to wing or start tow foiling or something like that, there's a variety of wings that can work for all range. And once they added in the ART with the real high performance wings, it said, hey, there's a really good range here. Let's get these things in. It'll be a nice match for us at the shop. So I'm gonna start out here with a BSC. It's a broad spectrum carb. This one here is a 1060, really great all around. I'm not gonna go through each individual wing, but just the main difference with this wing here is it's got a thicker profile, a lot thicker front on it. It has a little lower aspect ratio, a little more arc to it. And these are really made for turning. Obviously this is a 1060, you know, which is 1803 centimeters, not really that great on turning. It's made for stability and cruising. But as you get down to some of the smaller ones, the 890, I rode the 810 yesterday, you know, cruisy, turny, fun, kind of connected feeling. With this foil, I found one of the nice things is as you're getting up towards the surface chop, it doesn't just like eject you out, like gets towards the top and kind of just hangs there and goes. You don't feel too much of the surface tension. Surface chop, it's really nice through white water. So very user friendly, definitely where a lot of people are starting, but it's not a beginner wing by any means. It's not going to be something that you grow out of, because on some of my sessions, like the 890 was the first session I took, was like, wow, this is such a fun wing. Just really cruisy, easy, and fun to ride. Then you're getting over to the HPS. This is a high performance, the high performance speed. This is going to be a lot thinner profile, a flatter, thinner through here, flatter, and it's going to not be quite as turning precise, but they're going to ride bigger, right? So this is going to be a smaller wing in surface area than the BSC, but it's going to ride in a similar size. So the first time I rode, I went back to back the 890 to the 880 HPS, and those rode in a similar size range, even though the 880 HPS is a smaller wing. So these have a lot more glide. I really love this 930 for foil surfing. It's really fun, easy to connect waves with. Again, it kind of has, it's a notch up in performance, but has that similar feel like the BSC, where it's user-friendly, it's still a lot of fun. You'll notice in all the Access wings that you have a lot more front foot kick. There's a lot, so you have to put the mast further back than other brands. And that front foot kick gives you a lot of positive feel through the turn. So you're doing a bottom turn in any sport or turning on it, you have a lot of positive feel, so it comes through and you stay connected through the entire turn while you're riding. So definitely the HPS, I think this is going to be a top seller for us because it works for a wide range of people. You could start on this like the 980, you could begin on. The 1050 gets a little harder to ride. It is because it's so spanny. I did find riding this thing, like start way out the back on some swell and you just glide forever. Really easy to glide. Again, not the fastest wings on the market, but very controllable performance, which is why a lot of people are liking is that, being the fastest doesn't mean that you're going to blow up. Going fast with control means that you can actually take sessions and ride. Also, all these front wings do come with wing covers. The mast covers are an accessory that you have to add on, but it's really nice that every single wing comes with a cover that's front and back. Finally, we've got the ART front wings. This is really high performance, skinny, bladed out, high aspect foil. This is more user-friendly than I was expecting too. Again, has a lot of front foot kick. I actually found that the ARTs have a little bit more front foot kick than the HPS, which was surprising because it's such a skinny, high aspect wing. Once I figured it out, it's definitely nice. Not the turniest wing, but it has better glide, better speed, better performance. I personally preferred the ease of use of the HPS, but a lot of people are really loving this for high performance winging, for pumping and taking laps, foil surfing, or getting down to the smaller 799 for some real high speed action. There are a few other lines in the Access line of front wings. They've got the Pump and Glide, and then they've got Surf Series, which are definitely really good wings, just not really well suited for a ton of what we're doing. We do have the Pump and Glide 1150 because it's one of the best dock starting foils out there, and that's like a real high aspect wing that has a fatter section to it, and that fatter section just keeps you, it has a lower stall speed, so it will keep going for you. Tail wings is a little bit nuts though. So in the tail wings, when you get over here to all the different tail wings, it's like there are so many different tail wings. We got an assortment of them here. Two of our favorites are the Free Rides. These are kind of your typical surf style wings. I was expecting these to be kind of slow and dopey and not fun at all, particularly this 500. I was like, are you kidding me? That could be a front wing. Thing's gigantic. But I took it out and it was actually it made it really super stable and easy to ride. So it's not only training wheels, but it was just like, I could, hitting turns, like it just was super fun, and it doesn't feel as draggy as I was expecting it to be. It does have drag, it does ride slow, it gets on foil really, really easily and controllably. But I was pleasantly surprised by that. I really like, that's the 400 on that one over there. I've been riding that. The 370 is really nice too. Just surfy, cruisy, with these turned up tips, it kind of rolls rail to rail a little easier. They do have the Speed Series, this flat stab here, which a lot of people are liking. I've ridden the 380 a couple times with these winglets. It kind of has a little more locked in feel, but nice and quick. Then their newest line is the Progressive line. This one has too many foils in it, if you ask me, the Progressive line. Every 25, it's like crazy the amount of these things I have. The little downturn to it. They're definitely fast. They are higher performance, so I did notice some humming at higher speeds, a little bit of noise. Overall, the whole line kind of felt a little like it had drag in a good sense. Like the drag gave you stability, and a lot of that is because they build in a ton of tail angle to it. So that tail angle is going to make you ride slower but give you a lot of stability. If you want, you could shim this up and you'd have to put a negative shim on it to loosen it up a little bit. The kits come with a positive shim, so you want to make it even kind of more draggy and more stable. You can do that too. So if you want to start riding a smaller tail and experimenting with that, you can. Negative shim you'd have to do on your own. Basically, that will make these a lot quicker. Overall, progressive tails are awesome with the HPSs and the ARTs. I've used them a couple times with the BSCs, but I personally am liking the Freeride series. You know, I thought is kind of a better all-around tail anyways, and it just kind of gets you from being locked up. These you have to go pretty small to keep them from locking up. I did really like this, you know, the 375 was kind of my favorite size of the progressive tails for the all-around. Just, you know, it just worked really well and has a really good all-around feel to it. So all these do come with wing covers as well, and there's a, you know, variety of other tails that they make, but those are the ones that we like the most. So as you can see, Axis has a deep line of product, and it's been a lot of fun testing this gear and trying to figure out what's right for our customers. If you have questions, you can give us a call to shop, 252-987-6000, or reach out online at realwatersports.com. We've also put together some great complete packages of what we like the best for different types of riding, different styles of riding. You can start there, or you can call one of the real pros at the shop, and we'll get you dialed in with the custom package that's right for you. If you have any more questions, give us a shout. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on the water.